Welcome to a new episode of Triggre Weekend Masterclass, and today I'm going to show you how you can create your own custom search. So as you might already know, is that Triggre provides a default search possibility, which you can easily enable by checking some checkboxes in the wizard of creating a table. However, that search only applies to the items in the table that you can see. So that means that you cannot search for things that aren't visible for the user. And sometimes you would like to do that. Besides that, sometimes you want to not only include things in your search, but also exclude things from your search. And I'm going to show you how that works first in the application itself, and after that I'm going to show you in the designer how you can create that yourself. So what we have here is we have the column complaint template. A lot of complaints here. Like I said, the normal default search from Triggre is available over here, as you can see. However, I would like to create my own custom search. I've created a button for that custom search. And what I can do here is I've created 5 items to search for, which is the status, who I would like to exclude from my search results. I can search within the description. I can select one or more person the items are assigned to, and I can search within the title. And for instance, in this case, the description is not something that you see in the table itself, but sometimes you would like to search within that property. So in this case, for instance, we have the item quality. So every complaint which has the word quality in the description will be shown. And I'm going to remove the status, and also I'm going to not exclude anyone. So if I would search now, I would only see the items that have the text quality in its description. So let's click on details. You would see that here. There you go, quality. However, in this case, I would like to show all the items with quality and which is assigned to myself. So I can select that over here as well. And as you can see, we only have 2 items left, which are linked to me as well. And one of my personal favorites is to exclude people. In this case, I've got a list of 2, so it's not that interesting, but if you've got like a list of 28, it could be nice to exclude 1 or 2 items to get a nice page with all the results that you desire. So I can exclude myself, click search, and then I see everything with the word quality in the description, which are not linked to myself. And apparently it's all items which have nobody assigned to it. Well, what you might notice, or what you might have noticed, is that when I click on search again, the description is already filled out, the one that I filled out previously, and the same with the exclusion in this case. And I'm going to show you in the designer as well how you can set that up. So you must be thrilled to see how this is configured. So let's go to the designer. So of course we go to user flows and to complaints. And there are 2 important things in this piece of functionality. Well, actually 3. That is the complaint overview, because I have to filter the data items there. I have the page search, where you can define the properties you would like to search on. And you can also see here the update user item. And there's a reason why we have that, and I'm going to explain that to you a little bit later. Because let me start with the search page first. So what we have here is we have all the properties that we would like to be able to search on. And we have a title and assign to. It's just creating a normal form field. However, the interesting part is that, as you can see here, it's pre-filled with a property from the user flow. And when I click on title and I go through the wizard, I can show you which property is used. And you can use this in multiple ways in other functionality as well. But what I've done is I've added a property to the user data item called, in this case, search title. And as soon as I click on the search button, I save the value of the form field at the user itself. And what I do here is I pre-fill this property title with that value. So that way, when I search on, for instance, quality, I would go to the list of items and I would go back to the search again. I can still easily click or search on it again. But that also means that as soon as I click on the search button, I have to store that information at the user. And the reason why we use the user data item for that is because the current user is always available in the application. So you can always access the properties of the current user. So you don't have to do anything else extra for that. So as you can see here, I update the user, click on search title, and I save the value that I've provided on the search page, as you can see here. Okay, so that's all I would like to say about the search page and storing the search values that you've used. But now the interesting part is at the complaint overview page itself. Because it's just a normal page, like you would set it up as normal. However, you have to incorporate the search values in the filter of your page. So, and that makes that will create like a rather large filter. Let me explain to you how that looks. So what we have here, because there are two things that you need to consider, or you need to keep in mind. There are actually two options when you click on the search button and you want to see the results. The first option is you've defined something to search on. The second option is you didn't fill it out entirely. So in the example that I just showed you, I, for instance, searched on the title, but I didn't fill out anything at the description, or the other way around. And that's something that you have to keep in mind as soon as you create the filter itself. Because what you need to do is you have to define both. So what you do is, for instance, this is the form field status. It is empty or it's not empty, and then if that's the case, if it's not empty, you check if the complaint has the same status. However, you also need to do that with all the other form fields that you've defined. So status is empty or status is not empty and the status is the same. And the next filter that you need to define is regarding the title. So, and the title is empty of the form field itself, or the title is not empty, and if that's the case, I would like to check if the title of the complaint contains the text of the title that I filled out at the search page. And the same goes with the description. So the description is empty, or the description is not empty, and the complaint description contains the description that I filled out at the search page. There's one thing that I would like to show you explicitly, and that is, well, I explained to you that you can use a filter to include people, but you can also use it to exclude people. Well, to include, we say the assigned to is empty, or the assigned to is not empty, and the list of people that you defined on the search form contains the same people that are linked to the complaint. And you can also do that the other way around, because you can also say, and the list of people that we've excluded contains the same people as the complaint assigned to, however, it is false. So instead of that's true, you check if that's false. And that's the way how you exclude people from that list. Instead of true, you use false. So the two major things to keep in mind is that between the different search properties, different search options, you use the AND clause, and you define them twice as empty or as not empty and the thing you want to search on. This is very important. Enjoyed it? Hit like or subscribe.